Desktopia is set on a single long road. How long? Well, we're not sure yet. We're currently working on a 72,000 pixels long map, which is pretty huge. That's enough room for around 200 of these houses. Uh, but that could still change. It might get shorter, it might get longer, it all depends. We're still very much in development. Now, the point of Dystopia is to expand your village along this super long road. And this opens up new areas for harvestable resources, and well, it adds some issues as well. Because along the road, let's move along, there are enemies. Now here we are at the very edge of our town, and this is where your soldiers and your heroes and your knights will congregate. And they will lurk at the edge of the road until someone gets brave enough to move forward, and then they will start exploring along it. Now they're pretty slow until you've got a hero with them. He speeds things up a bit. But here we see the first issue we run into along the road, which is the Crypt. Now this spawns enemies, and when they reach a certain point, they all start moving down the road towards your village. Now we've got them under control here with the few soldiers we've got. A few have died recently, but yeah, it's fine. On the map, we can see that the Crypt, on the log, we can see that the Crypt isn't the only thing spitting out enemies. We also have the Fairy Grove, which is quite a bit down the road. This is we'd have to have quite a lot of houses to get here. And then later the Demon Portal, and then beyond that, which we haven't got functioning on the log yet, is the Bandit camp, and beyond that there is the Crossroads, which is a sort of end game area where lots and lots of different things come along the road and you have to deal with. You can see the health of the Crypt is going down. Actually, that's because our soldiers are attacking it, and they're going to take it out. We've been slowly wearing down their troops for a while now, so it was inevitable. And there, we've destroyed the Crypt. Now what's cool is the Crypt has now joined our village. It becomes the next available building, and so has a vampire, who's pretty cool. He's like a mini hero. He's not quite a hero, but he does join along with the soldiers along the road. I've lost focus. There we go. Now we've opened up new areas we can carry on building. You can't build past an enemy stronghold until you've taken it out. Now these guys were more than capable of taking out the Crypt, but I think they'll find they'll have a lot less luck taking out the Fairy Grove without at least a few heroes along with them. As you see, the Fairy Grove is still quite a long way off, but once the Fairy Grove has ejected enough creatures, they too will start moving towards town. I'm not going to get very close because I'm not playing as a very strong character and I'll die. So the strongholds aren't the only thing that you'll find along the road. I've gone back to an earlier save to show you one of the earlier encounters. This here is the Grove, and it's a place where there's a lot of harvestable bushes, which is good once you get your village grown up to there. But it also spits out a lot of animals, and these animals, they're not terribly dangerous. Angry bunny rabbits, foxes, later boars, and maybe a few monsters occasionally, but nothing tragic that you can't take on. However, if your villagers are wandering past, going about their job, maybe visiting the bank that's beyond the grove, they can get into a lot of trouble. If a wild boar comes out, it can do a lot of damage, killing tens of them, and this costs money. Every time one of your villagers respawns, it costs money, and the idea is to earn money, so that's bad. So one of the things you can do is you can build a hunter. And a hunter, he is a attack troop, like a soldier, except he doesn't walk along the road. What he does is he positions himself, or she positions herself, as this hunter is. She'll position herself just outside the hunting grounds, and she'll kill anything that comes out, and it's just another way to earn. She'll also harvest all the bushes and keep your villagers safe. Now, while the grove is spitting out these early creatures, an elk. While the grove is spitting out these early creatures, one hunter's good enough, but later on, as you get more houses and you get further down the road, the grove becomes an increasingly dangerous place in the middle of your town, and so you have to stage more hunters, and maybe occasionally go there and do some protecting yourself if a particularly dangerous creature comes out. And this isn't the only place like this further along the road. For enemies. Further along the road, there's a bunch of vampires and skeletons off to attack the village. Our troops can handle it though, I don't need to be there. Is the Monster Grove. Now this spits out far more dangerous creatures at a less frequent rate, and later on you can build the Monster Hunter, who is a souped up version of the Hunter and positions itself down here and protects people from this grove. So similar mechanic, just costs more and is far more dangerous if a monster gets loose in the middle of your town. We saw earlier how monsters from the crypt were heading down the road to attack the village. Well, this is happening again, this time with the Fairy Grove. Now the crypt has been destroyed, but this time we don't have so few soldiers. This time we have a nice little army, including our first hero, One Punch Pete. Now, these guys are being brave going ahead, but the others are coming soon. We also have a priestess from the temple, a couple of knights, and of course our vampire from the crypt. And this happens often on the road, our army engaging with an enemy army. Now these aren't part of the Fairy Grove, these are monsters. We really need a monster hunter to take out these. And now this army will continue along the road and try to take out the crypt itself, or the Fairy Grove itself. And that's it. There we have it. That's some of the features of enemies on the road. And I'll be back again soon with another update.